All right, so I just saw Captain Marvel in theaters, and I'm not necessarily going to do a full-blown review. I'm just going to do more of like a reactionary review as to what I thought of the movie. So Captain Marvel is directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, and if you know anything about them, let me know. I actually don't know too much about those directors. And also it's starring Brie Larson, Sam Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, and Jude Law. So first thing I want to say for this movie is go in with an open mind. I know there's a lot of buzz that I'm not going to discuss here, but just go into the movie as you'd go into any other movie. And I think that will overall help the experience. So I just have a couple quick notes here that I want to hit on. So starting with the setting, it's very interesting. I actually really liked it. It's got a 90s setting on Earth, but also like anything else that happens anywhere else in the galaxy feels very Star Trek-ish, like 90s Star Trek, kind of like Next Generation or something like that. So I thought that was actually a very good tone to set for this film. There's some great 90s references and throwbacks and some good songs and everything in it as well. It's interesting for a Marvel film to have a setting like that. Obviously Guardians of the Galaxy can do different things, but this is cool to have like a throwback 90s film. So I really like that. A couple standouts, and one of them controversial warning, trigger warning. I don't know. A lot of people are talking about Goose. I don't think Goose stood out all that well. He has a pretty interesting surprise, but I don't really think it's that much of a surprise. And he's cute. But Sam Jackson, and the reason this is a standout, and actually, so his performance is good. But obviously, you know what I'm going to say here. The de-aging effects, the de-aging technology they have on Sam Jackson is not distracting at all. I thought his performance came through, and there was parts, actually probably about 90% of it, besides like the first 5 minutes of it happening, I didn't even think about the de-aging on him. So I thought that was actually kind of a standout, even though it was kind of in the background thing. A CG artist is doing their best work when you can't tell it's CGI, kind of unfortunately, but also they did a pretty bang up job with that. So Ben Mendelsohn, his performance is always is great. Maria and Monica Rambeau. So Maria Rambeau, she's played by Lashana Lynch, and then Monica Rambeau, Lashana Lynch's daughter in the film, Akira Akbar, I think did the best job of tying Carol Danvers down as a character. And I'll get to Carol Danvers as a character in a minute. But I think that whenever they're on screen together, it's very heartwarming, and I think it does the most to root her down as someone that we should care about. So going to story here for a second, it has a pretty predictable yet decent twist, and also a meaningful twist. I think that's pretty important, because twists, even if they're predictable, as long as they mean something and they can hit you right here, I think that they're still good twists. And it was kind of really brought to life by the performance. It is kind of one of those situations where it's almost told and not shown, which is a movie no-no, but the performances on screen about the twist really helped drive it home. So that was actually a good part of the movie, and that's actually, I think, where the movie picked up for the better. Now on to Brie Larson. So I'm not going to talk too extensively about this because I want you to experience her character in the theaters for yourselves. But Brie Larson's performance is not bad by any means. She actually has some pretty good lines. She does some pretty cool things. But I think she's the least standoutish of everyone in the film, which is kind of interesting. Now, that doesn't mean to say that she's bad. That's kind of just a testament to how good the film can be at times. I think that when you're talking about someone like Steve Rogers, who Steve Rogers' MO is, I will always do what's right, no matter what, even if like authorities are telling me I shouldn't. If I know in my heart it's right, that's what I'm going to do. That's Steve Rogers. And Carol Danvers doesn't quite have that yet. She does, and it is shown. This is where it's going to get kind of complicated for her character. So Carol Danvers' MO is she'll always get up when she's knocked down. And while they do show that a multitude of times, even her as a little girl getting knocked down and getting back up, I don't think she's fallen hard enough yet for that to really be her MO and for that to really stick with us. And this is where it gets kind of contradictory, because as a human, the stuff she went through is stuff real people go through and real women go through, and it's not discrediting them, but Carol Danvers is a superhero. And yeah, that kind of helps her be a superhero, that she is strong and can get back up. But as a superhero, I don't think she's fallen quite far enough yet. Another thing I want to touch briefly on, and I mean briefly, it's light on the in-your-face feminism. I think feminism is a good thing when it's done right and when it's really about equality and not about shutting other people down or anything. But everyone's going to honestly take the things that are feminist different in this. I think the movie did a really tasteful job with that while still being empowering to women. And like this movie is for a lot of different people. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Like it's It's for people of color, it's for women, it's for men, it's for kids, it's for everyone. Everyone can enjoy this movie, but like for the most part, this movie's about little girls realizing that they can grow up to be badasses and they can grow up to be heroes. I think it does a really good and tasteful job with those kind of aspects of the film, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. To the story really quickly, it's very straightforward, but I think that's good for an origin story. If the story was super complicated and involving other things and this, that, and the other thing too much, I think that can deter from Carol Danvers' story. But yeah, it's straightforward, just like an origin story should be. So to kind of revert to something I was going to say at the beginning of this video, but I think it's better to put this at the end of the video. Given everything I've just said, I will end this quick review reaction with it's kind of a middle of the roadish movie, but leaning more towards good, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily going to blow your mind. You don't need to see it to continue on with the continuity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything. But if you like superhero movies, and you've been following them and you just want to keep up to date on everything story-wise going on, then see it. I can't fully recommend to every last person, you got to go spend your money and see this. But at the same time, I will say that if this is something you've been following, do that. But I do still recommend it. One last thing, there are 2 post-credit scenes. It's Marvel. If you guys have seen it, let me know what you think. I will do a spoiler review on this pretty soon. This is going to be a little bit quicker of a video, but I want to know what you guys think about the movie. Leave it down in the comments section down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.